Hello, I'm Matthew Pete Lester, and the topic today is my personal brand. I've always had like this unique interest or a hobby, studying maps and finding where places are, where products are made, and simply just turning over the label and reading the label. This hobby sort of started around fourth grade when I was about 10 years old and developed into my teenage years and on into college, and I later went on to get a degree in geography because I was fascinated with different place names, cities, towns, what places look like, and that has always been my unique brand. And initially I started out as an interest in a hobby, then it developed into a career. Later on, I got into studying imports, products, exports, and that's basically to think of my personal brand or my story throughout my life. You know, it's sort of like the Catch Me If You Can movie. You remember that? Leonardo DiCaprio would have the labels and read the labels and have the logos and things. Well, I got into that type of hobby or interest or brand for the past three or four decades, and got into geography, developed into a career, got into different organizations, found out that organizations had a need for someone who could connect business and network internationally through the freight industry as well. So I've worked with various NFL teams, universities, colleges, trade shows, different organizations, even one professional boxing event. And to look at that, to think about that, is how you see logos and labels and brands. And that was an interest that I'd gotten into that had linked me over into a specific career field. My personal brand, I guess, would have an interest in geography and how things are made, where they're made in the USA projects and shows. Have been a valuable career that I felt the Lord lead me that direction a number of years ago. I found that that was my purpose, and so it developed, and up until 2004 I was able to start a business, be an entrepreneur, making different transitions over the next decade. I did that for about 10 years and transformed into the business model into another organization. Got into organizational change, organizational leadership practices, and moral behavior of organizations, and how that would work out as companies trade through networking. In 2008, I felt a call even into the ministry and studied theology at Liberty. Next, went on to another university and studied organizational leadership, and now back at Liberty and studying strategic communication. And I guess this would be my particular brand of how Lord led me into my personal brand, from geography to different products to organizations, into ministry, and try to transform and work moral and ethically with these, using ethical leadership, ethical development between organizations, and helping to transform organizations and learn about myself. And God used that and has added purpose and direction and His divine intervention to help me in my different seasons. And I found out through this that God has used this geography and mapping, finding out about organizations and labels and logos and trade among organizations as a very valuable purpose, and as used me as a tool in this. And I found out different seasons God adds just another tool to the toolbox and helps me develop my personal brand. And I'm interested in hearing about your personal brand, and hope we have a wonderful semester and class here.